What is up, YouTube, my Cowboys family? Bringing you guys the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys and just general NFL news. Give us just 1 second while we go ahead and check our audio, and we'll be right with you guys.
Yes, thanks. What's up, everybody out there? Make sure you guys hit the like and the subscribe if you're new. We'll say it a couple more times, as you know, in this thread. What's up, Michael? How you doing? We're checking the audio right now. Make sure it's good to go.
What is up? Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, so everyone can hear us out there.
All right,
gathering a couple things here before we kick this thing off. We're gonna have some news, some stuff that we already kind of broke earlier. You actually did. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It does work. It does work. So, what's up, Manuel? How you doing?
What's up, Manuel? How are you doing? So, and guys, we are just going to be talking about, like I said, a few things that I already discussed in our earlier stream, if you want to go ahead and check that out. But we do have some updates, like I said, in there as well. And I want to talk a little bit about why that October 30th date was so important, because I realized that if you hadn't watched our previous Zeke stream to the one that I had posted, you wouldn't really understand why that date's so important. So, Brent 50K, what's up? Eagle fan 767.
That's not happening. 49ers 50, Cowboys 3. Good joke, though. But you did say earlier, what you did say, and we'll just rehash it real quick. Well, basically that.
Elite, what's up? How you doing?
What's up, Elite? How you doing? Was that what actually you say? Because you said that Awuzie. Actually, everybody did practice today, guys. That's first and foremost. Everybody on the Cowboys roster, on the 52 out of the 53-man roster, practice. We still have not filled that spot that I know of yet. We have not filled that 53rd spot, which was vacated by Stephen Paya in his retirement. Zero God, what's up? China P, how you doing?
How you doing?
That's right. Win, lose, or tie till we die. Exactly. So everybody was at the open practice. That was true. Yes. Awuzie included. Unfortunately, though, the late practice, he did not practice. He was rehabbing. He was not doing much. He was not in any kind of team practice. He was officially ruled out for the game against the Niners, guys. He is out. So rookie cornerback / safety. What's up, Cruisin? How you doing? Yes, our rookie quarterback Chidobe Awuzie once again is going to be missing this week 7 game. This week 7 game, this tilt against the 49ers because of his hamstring. So he's for sure he's 100% out of this game. So
So he was in the earlier morning part of practice, like I did report. But obviously, as the day went on, guys, in the later part of practice. So, and Cruzan 26, Lawrence, what's up? How are you guys doing?
What's up, Lawrence? Yeah. So that was one part of the news. So again, if you're thinking about which 7 players are going to be inactive, you already know Chidobe Awuzie is one of them. That's for sure. Now, important side note here. The only other injured person, luckily, La'el Collins, good to go. Tyron Smith, good to go. Of course, Sean Lee, good to go. Hitchens, good to go. I say La'el Collins? He's good to go. Chaz Green, good to go for now. For now. Always with him is for now.
For now, guys, it looks like everyone else was out there fully participating in practice and healthy.
Except for one other guy. Justin Durant, he was downgraded, guys, from basically he was at like probable or 75% chance to play. Now he's at questionable. He downgraded to questionable. He still could play. And again, guys, at linebacker we got Kyle Wilbur, the only guy left past him. So that's one of those things you want to make sure we kind of have someone like Durant who can play 10 to 15 snaps in certain kind of defensive formations that then could, he could provide a rest for some guys, or he just plays it very well, the 3-4 Deacon defense as the fourth lineman / linebacker that blitzes, the delayed blitz. So he does that well. He's done it well last year. He did it well this year. He messed up against Aaron Rodgers. I won't stop saying that. That 3rd and 8. That would have forced a field goal to tie the game instead, forced the field goal to tie the game. Allowed the first down that eventually then 2 plays later Aaron Rodgers threw the winning touchdown. But again, that was Durant's fault, but he usually plays pretty solid in that 3-4 Deacon defense. So Durant is questionable. And again, if you're going to look at they have to pick guys. Jason Garrett said this today, and we kind of knew this already, but he picks his inactives based on who you're going to use. Like who's really, not really who's better, but really who you're going to use for this particular game.
Exactly.
So we know Cooper Rush.
Go ahead. No, it just means that they're going to be using a little bit more of some of these other guys that just came in. Obviously, Sean Lee, Hitchens. These guys are healthy. Jalen Smith, and in some packages. So and. Like you said, it's just a situational time where they're just not really thinking about using Durant. It's not necessarily that Durant is playing badly.
Well, again, Durant is going to
against him. Right now, with that, obviously.
Right now, Durant is going to. He's questionable. So I mean, there's no word that he's not going to play. This is the first time he was put on the list the whole week. So it might be a precursor to what they're going to do when it comes to that. But again, we are light. Even though we are a full linebacking core back,
we're still kind of
light more or less. I don't really trust Kyle Wilber. And I don't know how much time he will play. But again, like Manuel said, we need to have General Lee in there. Sean Lee, patrolling the inside with, don't forget Hitchens, guys. I know you guys forget Hitchens because of Lee, but Hitchens is just as important.
I know, but Sean Lee isn't getting any younger either. So, it would be nice to have someone at least there in case he needs even one break.
And that's why you have Jalen Smith. He's gonna spell him. He's gonna spell Hitchens. And you also have Damian Wilson. He's gonna play the third linebacker. So when they have a base 3-4 defense and we have 2 corners, 2 safeties, you're gonna have Wilson playing in there. Damian Wilson playing linebacker. He's a decent run stopper. But if they decide to throw using a tight end or running back out of the backfield, and then Damian Wilson's matched on him, that's where we have problems. So that's why we have to be sure that we throw in that extra cover guy, like a Xavier Woods as a third corner, or it depends on who you're talking about. Because I think Jordan Lewis is number 1, but you have Skandrick, you have AB, you have Anthony Brown. That's 3 guys. That's 3 guys total. Then you throw in there Xavier Woods to use him sometimes as a dime or nickel corner. You have a lot of guys there, so you have a lot of guys that can go in there for Damian Wilson in a passing situation, which is what you're going to see most of the time with the starting Dallas Cowboys defense.
Yeah. Now, Brent 50K, I understand you're not necessarily the happiest with Jalen Smith. I know a lot of you guys don't even want to see him out there on the field, same as you, but I'm going to disagree with you there just because, again, we kind of overplayed him, forced him to do too much too fast, and, against big defenses, guys, in offenses, against big offenses, again, the Giants, even though they were not playing the greatest, that's still a divisional game.
Well, Jalen Smith did look good against the Giants in that opening game, but then he didn't play well after that. And again, he's been a step behind since Denver. And again, but
I'm just saying that now that he's going to be out there playing less, we're going to see better playing out of him.
I agree. It's going to be quality, not quantity with him. But you got to remember this, guys. Think about this. Week 1, we had Sean Lee, we had Jalen Smith. They were the 2 starters basically, and Damian Wilson as the third guy. He still has the same role, Damian Wilson. So you have the Cowboys mainly play with 2 linebackers most of the time. So you had Jalen Smith, and you had Sean Lee. Then the next week you had Sean Lee and Jalen Smith. They were both off that game against Denver. The next week against the Rams, Lee was out. So you had Durant starting, guys. We had Durant, we had Durant, we had
Smith,
Jalen Smith, and we had Damian Wilson out there with Wilbur to help out, and that's it. So against the Rams, we really were hurting there.
Exactly.
We got burned multiple times. We
obviously have seen that the Rams offense, they're nothing to be sneezed at.
So then the point is that, you saw Gurley make the catch over Wilson. That's a weakness on our defense with our linebacking core because Damian Wilson is a run stopper. Then you saw a lot throughout the game. Even though Durant played okay, he still took bad. He played a full game. That's not his thing anymore. Durant cannot play a full game. Neither can Jalen Smith at this point. He's at the beginning of his career. And he needs as many.
With that injury.
Exactly, still dealing with the injury, so he needs as little reps as possible. But you still need him out there for specialized, certain down and distance situations. So it's already known Jalen Smith's going to play. He's going to play minimal, which is good. He's going to play maybe 15 snaps a game. Durant's going to play maybe 10 to 15 snaps a game, taking over for Damian Wilson. Spelling Sean Lee or Hitchens once in a while. We also have Wilbur in there. It's going to come in. Unfortunately, it's probably going to come in once in a while. But again, if we don't have Durant in this game, we have to find a new Deacon defense linebacker. And I would suspect probably will be I guess it could be either Lee, but I don't see that. I see that being more like Jalen Smith kind of position, guys. It's a specialized role, and I think Jalen Smith was playing that late in training camp. So I would foreshadow Jalen Smith taking over Durant's snaps, which is about 10 to 15 in the game, and I think he's going to shine on that.
Yeah, and again, talking about the fact that we do think that he's, or we obviously know he's going to be getting a more limited snap count, I guess it does make sense that they would want to transition him to that role. Right. And Durant, not being questionable, kind of foreshadows that.
Basically, but
it's a
they're gonna find places. They're gonna find places to play Jalen Smith. The more important thing is that Lee and Hitchens stay in there and guide the defense. That's the key. Our defensive run game is going to improve because we have both of them at the same time. Our defensive short game, the tight end pass coverage defense is going to help. As well immediately because we haven't had that yet, guys. I just want to rehash the fact that we have not had. We had Anthony Hitchens last week or 2 weeks ago as the Packers. Yeah. We didn't have Sean Lee. We had Jalen Smith in there again. And again, guys, you had Wilbur in there playing a lot in the beginning of that game until they benched him because he was just not good. He's just a really special teams player and an emergency linebacker. You can't even count on him. But I'm just saying, you got to, now without Durant, it's going to hurt a little bit in some plays. Jalen Smith's going to take over those snaps, and like I said, I think he'll shine most of the time on that. But he still has an obvious issue with still being behind a step, still losing a step. He's going to need some time to really adjust. But hopefully, guys, and this is what I'm trying to say, when you have Jalen Smith out there with Sean Lee and Hitchens, it's going to make Jalen Smith better. It's going to make him look better, and it's going to make Damian Wilson look better. It's going to make Justin
Lee play better.
It's going to make Justin Durant play better. What I'm trying to say,
all of them are going to play better.
Well,
because
my point is that Sean Lee,
all of them out there finally back and healthy.
Well, okay, but maybe we forget about all the linebackers, but Sean Lee and Hitchens, just them out there, I'm confident with them. They're going to play the way they're going to play.
Yeah.
They're going to play the way they're supposed to play. The problem is when you're missing one of those guys or both. Those other guys, Damian Wilson, Jalen Smith, and Durant are going to, and Wilbur, they can hang for a drive, but they can't hang for a game. And that's why you need not just one of them, because you saw with Sean Lee, they did all right, but they weren't as good as a team together. When they had only Anthony Hitchens, they didn't have Sean Lee. They were still behind. I think you're going to see a difference when you have two linebackers that are the brains of the team, the leaders of the team, Sean Lee and Anthony Hitchens. You're going to see them carrying the load for the Wilsons who are behind a step on some things, for Jalen Smith who's behind on a lot of different things, for Durant who's a specialized player, and he sometimes does fall behind because of his age. So I think that by having both of them in there, it's going to carry our defense to become actually a lot better than what we've seen so far this year. We haven't seen both of them in the field. So that's something to look forward to when, and again, I don't even care that we're playing the Niners. It could have been the Patriots in the Super Bowl. My point is that with these two linebackers and the 5 games we've seen the Cowboys play, we've never had our defense as good as it is right now. And again, we're playing the Niners, even more of a reason that we have to show up this game and do well. So,
would you say overall right now as a team, this is the healthiest that the Cowboys have been?
As a team, as a complete team, overall, for sure.
Even going into Week 1 against the Giants.
Yeah, because we still, we didn't have Hitchens. Mm-hmm. We had a couple guys suspended.
True.
We had Nolan Carroll, who's basically like an injury on the field.
Yeah.
So exactly. So when you have these things, Stephen Pye was playing a third of a game because he couldn't play the whole game. So at least we know our defense better now. I think they're going. It's still not going to happen this week. That's why I'm glad we're playing a team like the Niners, not a team like the Falcons or Chiefs, where we have a chance to hopefully. It's going to be close.
Figure it out a little more?
Yeah, exactly. And I think the offensive line needs a lot of that gelling, too. And a lot of it comes down to Chaz Green, and he has to stay in there and be healthy. I just can't say he's going to do that. But the thing is, as long as we continue to gel in this game and onward, we're in this. We still have a chance. But the Niners are a desperate 0-6 team. They're very difficult. It's always difficult to beat a team like this. I don't care what their record is, and it's a big deal, guys. That don't look past the Niners on this. This is a major game for our season right now, and we have to win it before we think about anything else down the line. And I'm thinking about right now. We have Sean Lee and and Anthony Hitchens in the middle are most of the game. With little appearances by Wilson, by Jalen Smith, by Durant, maybe if he's even playing, and I think that with that, along with our front guys rotation that we have with some pressure, along with our coverage in the backfield, we kind of know now more or less really the guys who are the guys going to start playing this team. And unfortunately, Awuzie is on the outside right now because of his injury. He's not going to play this week. So, but that gives everybody else a chance. Xavier Woods, Kevin Frazier, Heath, and Byron Jones. As far as our safeties are concerned, and our corners, we have Jordan Lewis, we have Anthony Brown, we have Orlando Scandrick, we have Ben Wickery, I guess he's still in there. But I do think we'll see a lot of Xavier Woods as that fourth guy, or third or fourth guy, depending on what's going on in the field and the play itself. So
I agree. So let me see.
Tyron Smith's back is obviously shaky as always, but he did practice. He is officially going to go good to go for the game. Brent, 50K, just want to let you know.
Yeah, so Cruzan 26, let's see, Sean Lee is injury prone, the Tony Romo of linebackers. So I wouldn't really say that, but he definitely does feels like he gets hurt a lot. So this is kind of his healthiest stretch. So right before this hamstring injury, this past year was this is one of his healthiest stretches. So.
Yeah, past year and a half or so, I think he was healthy. But now it's starting to bite him back. But guys, he's back now. Hopefully, there's no setbacks.
He had a lot of rest too.
Exactly,
guys.
Remember, extra rest.
So again, I'm really hopeful about that because I feel like it's hopefully enough rest to get him through the rest of the season. They allowed it to heal fully. So let's see, Manuel Corona. Jalen has no idea what he's doing right now. He looks confused. And again, that's where less playtime will hopefully help him, where he'll be able to, figure it out in a way that, one, doesn't necessarily hurt the Cowboys, because let's be real, we need a player who knows what he's doing out there. So, he gets a chance to really learn a little bit more, surrounded by guys with real experience, and, just continuing to get better with experience and practice. I really feel like this kind of shows how that year off, regardless of how much he was, studying or trying to keep up, a year not playing football really does make a difference. And that can be for pro players as well, guys.
I agree. Yeah.
Give this rookie a chance to continue healing and continue improving.
So, let's see real quick.
Sooner, what's up? Hello, Newman. Let's see. Ditch.
Bobby J. Johnson, what's up? Kevin Bilbo.
D. Martin Butler free next year. Who do we let walk?
Well, who are we talking about? Hitchens, Marcus Lawrence, Zach Martin, Bryce Butler. Yeah, Bryce Butler I like. I like Zach Martin. I think again, I don't know if you can let any of those guys go. You definitely don't let Hitch go. You definitely don't let Martin go. I mean, Bryce Butler, it would be a shame to lose him. I think D-Law has to still be more. I want to see more from him. I guess I'd say him if I had to pick one. And I know that sounds heartbronheartbreaking, but
not necessarily. I want to see more consistency. I think.
Yeah, I mean, we do want to see that. And he's been consistent. I mean, every game he's got a sack.
True.
But the point is, though, is that I don't know if that's a mirage. I still want to see more. He hasn't done anything in years past. He's been more injured and banged up. This year's looking great. I don't know if we can afford to lose.
This year is just a fluke.
Well, I just hope he's not playing for that contract year thing, And then next year he'll go back to his old self, and maybe, and then we don't want anything like that. I think that's a big risk. I think he still needs to show more. I want to see more dominance from him. By the end of the year, I say Bryce Butler. Then I think I'll put him in that spot. He's more affordable to lose because of our receiving core. That's a great question, though, I will say. So I mean.
I have a feeling that out of all those guys, and this isn't how I feel, I just think that this is how the Cowboys feel. Out of all those guys, I think Bryce Butler is the most likely to go, and I hate to say it too, but I could just see the Cowboys letting go of him.
Too bad.
Especially considering what their other needs are and how much depth there is at receiver as well, according to them. Especially with
even they're playing badly though.
I guess that's true. Badly, I think
our starters
they see, and the fact that Terrence Williams was just signed to a long contract. Obviously, you have Dez for a while. Beasley still has another 2-3 years.
I'm not sure.
Something like that. Either way, guys. Right. All these guys have contracts much longer than Butler. But I think Butler is a guy who's been producing is worth keeping around.
That's what I'm saying, is that the Cowboys made a mistake by signing Butler for 1 year and then signing Terrence Williams for 4. That's a big mistake.
They should have tried to balance something out, or maybe like a 2-2.
Or maybe just flip that, Then we could have, I know that we're not sure about, but I like Bryce Butler better than Terrence Williams overall, just because I think Williams is not going to get any better. Mm-hmm. He's a good blocking receiver, one of the better ones. Bryce Butler's not there yet, but Bryce Butler is just more of a dynamic receiver, and Williams is not.
But I think they prefer Williams, again, because of his blocking, and I get it, and I understand it really fits the Cowboys playing style, but I would like a little more if we actually ran the ball and made it worth it.
Exactly.
But that's another thing.
Exactly.
So Kevin Bilbo, what's up? And
I wanted to answer a couple of these questions here that I see that are good. Just quick things here. So Bobby J. Johnson says, do we need to move La'el Collins back to guard and find a right tackle? Now, I would like that, but yes, who would we put at right tackle is the question. Nobody on this team can do that yet. Mm-hmm. And I see that Brent then says, well, about getting Zach Martin thrown out at right tackle. Hell no. Zach Martin staying at guard. He's a guard. That's his spot. He's not moving from that spot, guys. We need him there at the right guard. Left guard, we need La'el Collins was going to be the left guard until Doug Free retired, and then we moved him out to the right tackle, and he's been doing okay. And I still think he's doing okay. I just think that it's more of the left guard that's the issue. And I
want to agree with you, but I do think that he has, that the Cowboys have been a little bit more successful when we have Zeke helping him block. It just feels like he does sometimes need Zeke to kind of help out, or someone else to kind of, sometimes I've seen, like the fullback do it, or Witten, and unfortunately Witten has missed a few times doing that.
He's whiffed some blocks. But I do think
La'el Collins seems to benefit from having someone.
And again, it's even more sad that, like Rodas says, and I agree, Rodas says that, he likes Noah Brown more than T. Will, and that's the truth. I mean, I told you I never really liked T. Will after I see that he reached his peak a couple years ago. Yeah. He's not going to advance anymore.
We're not getting more from him.
Nothing more. Just what we already have, and it's going to go down soon. Kevin Bilbo says that Irving is starting at nose tackle. Yes, he's the one technique guy, and that's a good thing. We want him there. He's definitely very, very disruptive. Once in a while, you guys see him move out to a defensive end.
What if we traded Terrence Williams to a team who's desperate for a receiver?
I mean, that'd be nice. I would have no problem with
that.
It. But who's going to take that bill? You know, that cost of the contract and the money we're paying. It's not that much. It's actually cheap, and nobody wanted him in free agency. That's why we were able to sign him back. Because he wasn't really getting big deals, and that's
so then is he really hurting us that much? I guess he hurts us because he's still taking up a spot.
Right. Well, that's what you have to make a decision between him and Bryce Butler. Now you want Bryce Butler over because he has he's younger. Yeah. He has more of an upside when it comes to receiver.
Depends how much are you going to sign Bryce Butler for? How much is he going to cost you? You know, compared to possibly losing money, obviously too on.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out this Jawad Holloway. That's a female, right?
I don't know.
It's a female.
I'm a dude.
No, it's a chick.
I'm
messing with you, Holloway. I just found it funny. I see you on the other streams, always telling people that you're a guy. I just want to mess with you. Especially you being an Eagle fan, you deserve it. Yeah.
So Junior Muth, what's up? Thanks for joining us.
What's up?
Hal, Zach Martin at right tackle. So we just talked about that. Yeah.
We say no. That's some people were saying that. Just as a question,
and
it's
I just
no way.
I think it's good to.
Constantly moving musical chairs.
Guard, yeah.
I just think that it depends on the player. But our Byron Bell and our Jonathan Cooper, there's not really a tackle in there. I mean, Byron Bell would be the closest thing to it, but he's not better than. I don't think it's worth putting him at the right tackle.
Can't catch a cold.
I know, except when it has to touch his little feet, and that he can do. But no, what I'm trying to say is that when you have the right tackle, if you put Byron Bell at right tackle, and then you move the right tackle Lil Collins to the left guard. I mean, I see a lot of weakness. I see a bigger breakdown on the right tackle spot, especially in the passing game, more so than anything, than I do if we have Chaz Green going at the left guard, hopefully healthy Chaz Green, and then keeping Lil Collins on the right side, on the right tackle. I just think that would work. That's still working the best. It's just we haven't really had enough chance. Guys, I think the last 2 weeks, Cooper, 64, has been the left guard for the Cowboys in the last 2 games. The first game was Chaz. The first 3 games were Chaz Green. But there was a mix-up in there sometimes, too. Again, guys, it's just Chaz Green is not reliable enough. So that's going to hurt, just not because of his ability on the field when he's healthy, but because we don't have the cohesiveness and the gelling of the offensive line together.
I agree.
So, Bleed Green, what's up? You're an Eagle fan, boo.
Hey, guys, for every single one of you guys who is just joining us now, make sure to hit like on the stream. It really does help out our channel. And hit subscribe if you haven't already. We do post daily. We do daily live streams on Cowboys and just general NFL news, usually whatever the big news is around the NFL, and daily live streams, like we said, on the Dallas Cowboys. And we stream our reaction to every single Dallas Cowboys game, so make sure to join us this Sunday to see our reaction against the 49ers.
Yeah, now let's jump over to this to the Niners real quick. I do want to talk about the 49ers here right now. A couple little interesting things. They're rookie.
And Cowboys or Brown, I'm just going to answer your question. I think it's going to be David Irving. Gets more sacks. Vila Irving. I'm gonna go.
You mean for this season or this?
No,
this week. I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna go with David Irving just because.
I like the way Irving's doing what he's doing.
He was playing pretty well against Green Bay.
Yeah, I think
I think he was the one who really freaked out Aaron Rodgers the most, more than DeMarcus Lawrence this time.
Yeah, no, they did, but unfortunately somehow we got out. They got to blocking him. And somehow got towards the second half he didn't have more David Irving in there.
But again, I think it's because they made adjustments and we didn't. But that's another story.
That's the Jason Garrett reign. That's how he does things. But
all right, guys, back to the 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers guys. They have a rookie head coach. They have a rookie quarterback. The rookie head coach Kyle Shanahan, if you recall, his dad Shanahan was also a coach for the Denver Broncos way back when.
Second, guys.
He was a quarterback he was a coach for the Broncos way back when. I think it was Mark Shanahan, if I recall his dad. So Kyle Shanahan, he's a rookie coach for the Niners. He was saying that this is a guy that was on the injured list yesterday. He's also on the injured list today. But they're saying if there's no setbacks, that Reuben Foster, he's a linebacker, and he has a high ankle sprain, guys, which is not a good injury anyways. And he was on the borderline of playing. They said that he should be playing this week. Barring any setbacks, that would be big against the Dallas Cowboys, and that's what they're saying, on the Niners side, because he is a run stopper. He is probably their best linebacker. You saw what Bowman did yesterday. He was a little off on Navarro. Navarro Bowman was off a little bit with the Raiders yesterday. In the past game, I think, but when he came to blitzing and putting pressure on the quarterback and running and stopping the run, he seemed pretty decent yesterday. He had a couple misses, but he just threw him in there after 4 days. So that's pretty impressive. Reuben Foster, he has a high ankle sprain, and the big thing about that, he's going to be limited though. Even if he's out there playing, he's not going to be 100%. His high ankle sprain is going to be something that's going to carry on for throughout the game, he's not going to be 100%. So his lateral movement might not be that good. So when the Cowboys are running off the tackle, when the Cowboys go into a run pass option kind of deal, that's where he's going to be. When he stops for a moment, he's going to be like Jalen Smith in a way. Think about Jalen Smith, and he's a step behind. Injury-wise, whatever it may be, experience-wise, the point is he's a step behind. I think you're going to see that from Reuben Foster against the Cowboys.
My bold prediction is say that this is the game that Zeke finally breaks one and just goes, running and gets some crazy.
Don't forget though, they're still gonna be watching him. Nothing's changing in that.
Watching him. I'm just saying. At least maybe I'm just being optimistic because guys, I just want to see Zeke finally eat. I don't know. I feel like he just, we want to see the Zeke that we know. Yeah, he can be, guys. So anyway,
go answer a question or two.
Right,
but
we'll go ahead and hop into
I do want to say one thing, guys. Before anything else, I have to say that this is our very special birthday weekend for my fiance, and I have a little surprise for her. So I just want everybody to see that. Happy birthday, baby.
Thank you.
We have to let you know what day it is. The point is, this is her birthday weekend, guys. So happy birthday, baby.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, guys. I don't want to get too cheesy on stream, but
I surprised her with that, so there you go.
I didn't know
she did not know I was coming.
Thank you.
So I want to leave it on there a little longer. Just why not?
Sure. I'll have to get a hat. Oh,
there you go.
Joking,
Caught
guys.
you off guard, maybe. Yes, happy birthday. That's why I told you before the stream, I was telling you, just move a little bit this way, a little bit that way. Set her up, guys. So anyways, go ahead. You're welcome, baby. Go ahead, hit that.
Let me go ahead and catch up with some of your comments over here.
Dreads Thugs.
Yeah, no. Let's see. T-Will had offers. He took less before. He's from Texas and wanted to stay a Cowboy. So
true. I guess you can say that, yeah.
All right. So then, again, I guess that makes sense. And obviously the Cowboys wanted to keep him. But at the same time, is that loyalty going to cost us?
I know.
A little
it's
bit.
Interesting.
A little bit. Did you see the new most feared promo on Madden 18? Mutt 18? What?
No, I have not. I have not seen that.
So, Bleed Green, thanks for joining us. Boo Eagles. I can't say you guys suck because you don't suck, but boo Eagles. So, let me see. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for
wishing we are in a room, in a living room.
Where we live in it.
Let's see. Patrick Robinson deserves to keep that spot. He's been outstanding. Douglas has been good, too. I don't know what to do with Mills.
So we have two topics we can talk about here, guys. Do you want to go with...
guys, this is our big party celebration.
One of many, I'm sure, over the weekend. But I will say this, guy. Tomorrow we're gonna
stream celebration. Anyway,
yes, tomorrow we're gonna have the Madden stream where we have the Niners and their updated roster with injuries and all included. Our updated roster without Awuzie, probably without Durant, just to see what it's gonna play like tomorrow. And I'll talk through the stream more detail about the 49ers and all the things that we expect to see from them when it comes to their defense, their offense. Carlos Hyde, they have Pierre Garçon, they have. Bethard, who's a rookie quarterback. They have, defense is pretty decent, but multiple injuries, and the ones that are playing are going to be banged up. So our offensive line, Zeke, our tight ends, our receivers, Dak, they all have to take advantage tomorrow, and the coaching staff most of all has to take advantage of tomorrow, of Sunday's Niner defense, who even though they're decent, they're still going to be a lot of them going to be a step or two behind because of their injuries, and some are even out. So it's time to take advantage now, and the defense should look good tomorrow against a rookie quarterback. Tomorrow on Sunday, the defense should look good, much better than we have. Two reasons: the young rookie, quarterback. They're also missing. They're probably going to miss their fullback, and on top of that, we have Hitchens and Leon. That in itself, right there, we combine with the rookiness and the youngness of their side.
The 49ers are hurting right now.
So combining those two things, they're still desperate and they're dying for a win. So that's the dangerous part. It's like that's the most dangerous team right there. But I will say, that's the most dangerous type of team. But I will say that if we can establish our will and establish a running game, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow in the stream, I think that the Cowboys, again, I've been saying this every week, but they haven't really done this. When they have done it, they've led against the Rams. They've led against the Packers when they've established the running game and kind of controlled the game, controlled the clock. When they have not done that in the second half of those two games, well, we all know what happened. So it's unfortunate. So, but thank you all for wishing her the happy birthday, guys.
Yes, thank you, guys.
It's going to be a birthday weekend. Tomorrow we're going to have dinner, and I'm taking her out for a nice dinner, and, and then we're going to watch our Cowboys win for her birthday, right, guys?
Yes.
On Sunday.
So, Cowboys, That's the only birthday gift I ever want. So
yeah,
and then
Brent K is right.
Cowboys abroad, he's a good receiver, but when we say good, we don't mean like, oh, he's a good receiver. We say like, oh, he's a good receiver.
Yeah, who T. Will? Yeah.
Like again, he just I don't know. I've never really seen him as a great receiver. He did make. I feel like he's one of those guys who has like those 1 or 2 plays a season. You know,
he
always gets those 1 or 2 big plays.
Exactly.
A season.
Usually a tap toe thing,
yeah.
you know. But Cowboys abroad, that's where we have a disagreement. I never really liked T. Will. I don't think he's a smart player. I think we saw a lot of mistakes he did, especially last year against the Giants, the first game of the year. I'm not even holding that game on him. He's done other games where he's done questionable, moves or choices when he's run after the catch, when on some ways he breaks for the ball. I don't know the way he catches the ball. It's just something's off with him. I never really feel confident in him, but I don't feel about him like I did with Kellen Moore or with Jeff Heath, where they have to really show me a lot. And I mean, T. Will shows me enough that he's a possession receiver. He's a secure guy. You can almost count him all the time to make the catch. But again, last year he only had like average of like 2 or 3 catches a game. This year he has a lot more. Dak's relying on him a lot more, so I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
But I do think that overall, I think Bryce Butler is a better receiver. Is going to be a better receiver, a higher upside. Now let's see, T. Will does run a better route than Dez. Yeah, everybody pretty much runs better routes than Dez. The Amadou Holloway says I'm not a fan. Okay, that's the other discussion. But DeForest Buckner, I wanted to mention that about Brent K. He's a good player. He's the key guy we have to watch. I think he's a defensive lineman, defensive end. We have to block him. Our line has to handle him. That's Lil Collins. Tyron Smith.
And again, that's why I do expect to see someone like Zeke coming out and blocking a little more, or again, Keith Smith coming out helping him block a little more.
Even at the fullback role, right?
Yeah, or just the
Witten has to hold his blocks. Hannah has to hold their blocks. Swaim has to hold his blocks.
Exactly. So those are the guys that you definitely are going to see helping out Lyle Collins a little more. At least that's me personally. I would like to see that because it seems like the Cowboys are more successful when we do that. But that means that Tyron Smith has to get it.
Exactly.
Chaz Green has to get it. Zach Martin has to get it. Travis Frederick has to get it. They all
and Lil. Exactly. They all have to help each other.
So hopefully, guys, our entire offensive line is healthy, ready to go this bye week. And just the whole team refocus.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Cowboys, bro, they lost on your birthday. I know the Cowboys almost every year the Cowboys lose on my birthday in December. Seems it always happens, but they don't really lose on your birthday. Last year was a bye week.
Last year was a bye week, so we
didn't lose. And this year we shall see.
I know. I mean, again, before the season started, obviously, I was saying, the 49ers, at least I know we're going to win on my birthday. Obviously, I spoke much too soon, guys. But that was just me having fun. Thank you, baby.
All right.
My birthday's expired. All right, guys, but seriously.
We can jump onto some other, I'm going to jump onto some other topics, actually, guys. There's 2 things, and these are the controversial things. Not controversial. We'll do with the Zeke stuff first. How about that?
Yeah.
Then we'll go into the flag stuff, which is the controversial stuff that it really is a problem on the horizon. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go with the flag stuff, guys. Sorry if you don't want to hear it.
Well,
political,
but
this is again. I want to preface by saying this that this intersection between the Dallas Cowboys specifically, Dallas Cowboys NFL football, and this flag anthem protest / Donald Trump / Jerry Jones / whatever else you want to add in there, controversies. This is Cowboys news. So whether you like it or not, we got to face that fact now. And by the way, hi guys, Bleed Green, Robert Navarro, anybody else I missed over here, thank you for joining us. Hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're new, hit that little notification bell so you get these daily, and you get the Sunday game day live stream.
Yes.
Every week we do it for the Cowboys.
Thanks for joining us.
Joe Martinez, what's up?
If you want to help support our channel in other ways, go ahead and check out our Patreon link in the description down below. It does help out our channel and it helps improve our channel.
We got mics, got cameras.
Yes.
Improve slowly. But guys, so Jason Garrett. Okay, you guys know, of course, Jerry Jones earlier in the week or last week was talking to the players, said about some rule that wasn't in there, told to him by Donald Trump. Players have to stand or they get suspended or benched. This is incorrect. They had a meeting. This was said last week. The Cowboys were upset about that, especially Orlando Scandrick, especially David Irving to some extent. And that was kind of how things were left over the weekend. The coaches, the owners and the players had a big meeting NFLPA and the owners, the NFL's, the Goodell, whatever, they all met in New York. I think it was New York where they met. There was protests. Jerry Jones was trying to listen to some of it. There was a whole bunch of stuff. Then the last couple of days, he ran out the back door. He did not want to face the protesters. Didn't want to give his opinion. This is after the other owners had already mentioned the fact that they're going to work with players on this. They're going to work with something together and come up with something that does not interfere with the anthem or the flag, but also does not stop them or discourage them from having a platform.
Yeah.
And the main thing about this is all the owners said, Goodell, everybody, but Jerry Jones, they all said that basically, the players do not have to stand. It's a factual knowledge, and that's what every single owner, every single person that's involved in this thing, except for Jerry Jones. He refuses to admit to the facts, basically. And unfortunately for him, and whichever side you fall on this, unfortunately for Jerry Jones, he's got to deal with that. Now, today, Jason Garrett was asked. He was asked today, what does he expect about his players and standing for the anthem or not? And he said that, and I'm going to say this here, guys, he does expect. He goes, his answer was, yes, he does. He goes, yes, I do. That was his answer when they asked him. But basically, he said, yes, he expects all his players to stand for the anthem this game against the Niners.
Now, the controversial thing about that is that David Irving. Right,
David Irving, who we just spoke about, who a great player. We like what his future holds with us. There's no way we can sit someone like him.
And no way we can afford to, not have someone like him out there playing right now.
I agree. And again, this comes about to First Amendment rights, rules and laws of the NFL, and rules and laws of the country, constitutional rights. David Irving is allowed to do whatever he wants to do. And this is now a known thing, he is planning to do something during the national anthem on Sunday. But apparently, we all have to wait to find out what it is. He's not tipping his hat as what it is going to be. So that's something to look forward to, guys. This is a major kind of collision course here. David Irving, he did it 2 weeks ago with the Montre Moore, raising his fist during at the end of the anthem with the Montre Moore fist in the air, and it was supposedly after the anthem. So that's why Jerry Jones kind of both said,
we'll let it slide.
It's going to slide. It's not a big deal. They can do that if it's not during that situation. But because this is something that David Irving is planning to do during the anthem. So this is definitely flying in the face of Jerry Jones. Honestly, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, whether you're in support of it or not, I kind of want Jerry Jones challenged on this. I want to see what he's going to do because I think he's going to end up being sued by David Irving if he does something to him. That's by the NFLPA, and that's by the owners. Nobody will back him on this because everybody, including Goodell, including all the other 31 owners, know David Irving has a right to do this, and that's what. It doesn't matter what you or I feel about it. That's the right he has, and he can do it until it's changed, and eventually will be changed. Eventually, going to come up to some kind of agreement where they all stay in the locker rooms beforehand, or they'll have to stand. But they'll work something out. But in the meantime, Jerry Jones is going to eat his words. Because if he does sit him, if he does sit, and hey, look, that's his own fault. I don't have any sympathy for him.
Tear the team apart a little bit more. That this is the last thing we need.
I agree.
Any kind of divisiveness in the locker room, because there's going to be teammates who agree with David Irving, teammates who disagree, and not necessarily with his message, but just with what he's doing. And the thing that's surprising to me is the fact that he's definitely. He said 2-3 days before he was actually going to do this that he was going to do this. So Jerry Jones has plenty of time to think and act on what he can say or do. And then, don't you think that? That's the thing, because if it would have caught him by surprise, that's one thing. But now he can kind of plan for it or anticipate or even retaliate against it before it even happens. Can he bench him or sit him or try to keep him in the locker room?
I don't know. I don't know what can be done or forced. I don't think you can force anybody to do anything like that.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
But whatever it is, if he does make him do something like that, Jerry Jones, or if David Irving decides to do something, the point is, it's going to be on Jerry Jones. Yeah. It's plain and simple. And as far as Kaepernick and Mr. Wright's comment, by the way, hi, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, Mr.
Wright. Hi, Cowboys 42. Virgil, what's up? How you doing?
Thanks for joining us tonight, guys.
First off and foremost, Joe Martinez, I disagree. Jalen Smith will not be inactive because it's unless Justin Durant is going to play. If Durant plays, then you might see him inactive. I doubt it, though. I think you'll see Durant inactive, unfortunately, because he is questionable. So he might be one of the inactives. Him, Cooper Rush, the usual suspects back there. McFadden, a couple other players there, but lineman Looney. I don't know. But I'm just saying, my point is that you're going to see a couple. You're not going to see someone like Jalen Smith, who we are already going to be lacking in depth. Yeah. Who already have, basically after our depth, after our starting 3 linebackers are Jalen Smith, Justin Durant, and then Kyle Wilbur, who's garbage. So, again, guys, Now, Mr. Wright says nobody will sue Jerry. He's not too good to the players. If you look at the interviews that they had, Mr. Wright, a lot of players of the Cowboy players were upset with the way Jerry Jones addressed the team. They say they never heard anything like this before from him. They were very surprised by his new tone. And again, I'm going to assume it to Donald Trump, and that's after Jerry Jones admitted to speak to him. So I don't know about collusion, and I'm not buying into all that right now because I don't want to get started into the whole Kaepernick thing, colluded or not. That will play itself out. I don't think that's even accurate, but he can do whatever he wants when it comes to suing. You can sue whoever you want for whatever reason.
But it definitely helps Kaepernick's case if you have an NFL owner publicly making comments about, you know, how he wouldn't allow his players to stand, or, you know, how these things are against the rules. I guess
it looks more like collusion in that way.
It just makes the whole NFL look bad, regardless of what everyone else is saying or doing. So, and I just never like it when anything reflects negatively on the Cowboys, regardless of
who's right and wrong
or what is saying it, including the Zeke thing. I hate the fact that the Zeke thing is making the Cowboys look bad, but I hate it even more because Zeke is actually innocent, or
there's no evenence to prove him guilty. I just truly think that when it comes to this anthem thing, again, I said it before, and I had a discussion with some guys on here who eventually, you know, they don't agree with the stance that is being taken, but they agree with what I'm saying. And it's simple as this. It's their right to do this. It is their, you know, there's no rule against doing it. And if you're a true American, if you all out there are true Americans and love this country and support its Constitution and the things that we're built on,
and our First Amendment,
that's part of it. If you truly do that, and that goes to Mr. Wright, to anybody out there who, you know, who might have a different view on this specific situation about kneeling during the flag. It's not about what you feel. It's not about what I feel. Everybody has their own feelings about why they want to kneel or not for the flag, and that's up to them, right? Or stand, but in the end, if you force somebody to stand for your flag, you're no better than North Korea.
Or force someone to kneel.
Or but nobody's forcing them to kneel. Yeah, they're forcing them to stand, and that in itself is un-American. That's unconstitutional, and forget about it's un-American. It's not what we stand for. You want to force somebody to stand against their right and on public protest and on a public platform that they have to make a difference in their communities that they feel it's being wronged for whatever the reason, whether you or I agree with it. And it's not against their work laws. Their work bylaws do not say anything about it. CBA or any book does not say they have to stand for they just have to be on the field. They don't have to be for the anthem. Yep. So in the end, guys, whether we like it or not, we don't have to like it. And you have the right to voice your opinion if you don't like it. But in the end, it doesn't really matter for you because it doesn't affect you. If you should be standing if you care that much. You know, I guarantee most people don't stand for the anthem in their homes when it's on TV. I guarantee you 90% of people that are talking about standing don't stand. So let's not be hypocrites either. And it's not about that because people wear the flag. That's against the flag code. You know, there's a lot of things that are putting the flag horizontally on the field is against the flag code. Yet we do it every football game. Yeah. So guys, it's a hypocrisy. And again, who started this? Who politicized it? The NFL did when in 2009 when they took money from the Department of Defense to promote patriotism and force the players on the field. Now you gave them a platform. So NFL is they're the one. Don't blame the players for doing what their First Amendment right and legally allowed by their workplace is giving them allowed to do. Don't get mad at them. You get mad at them. You have that right, but you'll be wrong.
And remember, guys,
you're focusing on the wrong things.
I really do think that it is just for now because I do think that they're going to reach some kind of very quick compromise. By next season, this is going to be a non-issue. That's just my prediction. Well, they're going to find a way to quickly, easily.
The owners already met, and they're going to re-meet again soon. And both sides, the players and the owners, saying that there will be an agreement soon.
So you think that it'll happen this season?
It might happen. It might happen this season. And the thing is that if it happens, it's going to be something where probably the players. One or two things will probably happen. They'll either be in the locker rooms while the anthem plays, which I think is where it should be, which is what it was in the beginning, guys. That's where it was before 2009. Before it was politicized by the NFL, not the players, by the NFL. For money, by the way, not mind you. And again, protesting peacefully is better than protesting and stopping traffic in the streets. I'm just saying, think about it, guys. Think about it. And again, if you respect and love the flag, then don't wear it on your body, on a hat, on your shirt, on your shorts. Don't wear it. Don't carry it horizontally. Don't support it. Speak out about it when they do that at every football game when they bring the flag out and wave it horizontally on the football field. That is against the flag code. That is actually a rule against that. Yet nobody has a problem with that.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with our liberal agenda because honestly, our politics has very little to do with it in the sense of. You know, we're talking about this one specific issue, and it really comes down to, again, guys, we like to stick to the facts here. It really is, you know, if we're gonna be honest, at least my personal feelings, I do. I understand why so many why so many people, and just like you, why we should, stand for the flag and respect these things. But I do understand why, again, these NFL players are protesting what they're protesting.
Let's do it this way. I'm going to pull it down this way. So I'm trying to. There's no liberal agenda here, guys. And here it is. If you don't like the facts, I guess you could call it whatever you call whatever you want. You call it fake news if you want. But then you're fooling yourselves, because that's the law and the rules of the rules. Now, I'm going to address Cowboys Abroad comment, okay? So he says, I'm a four-time combat vet, much respect first and foremost, and I feel that at least the players can do is stand 60 seconds to honor American values. Now, American values, what are those? I mean, what is that to you? Now, they've seen different things in their communities, whatever the reason is. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm saying that this is what their feeling is. Who are you to say that their feeling should be the same as yours when it comes to that? Now, America has given them a lot of opportunity. And by the way, guys, all the players have pretty much said this has nothing to do with the military, nothing to do with the flag or the country, in the sense of the greatness of it. They love and respect it. So it's already skewed when you start saying it's about the flag or the anthem.
Yeah,
it's not.
Remember the original reason that they were taking a knee was because of the Black Lives Matter movement and to support
that's what I have a problem with. And that's all I'm saying is I don't have a problem with the Black Lives Matter movement. That's your freedom of speech. Like, you can have any kind of group in this country, and you're legally allowed to have. My problem is, and again, that's this Kaepernick's thing, and I understand why he's doing it. He has the right to do this. I don't have to agree with it. But my issue is this: it's a good thing to bring an awareness to anything. But I'm not taking a side on this, because I actually am in favor of the players' rights to protest. If you think that the Earth is flat, you can sit at the anthem and you can do that if you think the Earth is flat, and that's your choice, even though you're dead wrong.
Yeah.
So my point is that the players are right in this way. There is a small percentage of police officers that harass black people, African American people, that harass Hispanic people, that harass minorities. There's even a smaller amount that actually murder, use their badge to murder. And think they're above the law. And these rare cases have not come out the way that most of the public thinks they should have come out. I mean, I think that's a general thing that a lot of us here can agree on. But the percentage is tiny. It's a tiny, tiny percentage. And people always want to say, well, what about black-on-black crime? That's like 80% of the murders in the black community. And that is true. They should focus on that more. But the biggest difference, and I do think they do focus on that, but the biggest difference between that and a cop going above the law is that they have to be held at a certain level.
The imbalance of power. You expect a certain level of...
And so that's why it seems like it's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
And it is a big deal. I don't want to downplay that, because what I've seen when it comes to that, I do support the players and that outrage, but you have to look at the bigger picture. In the end, though, that's what my feeling on it, and you have your feelings, and you guys have your feelings. In the end, though, guess what? This country, it would be un-American, Cowboys Abroad, Shallow Hal, Mr. Wright, all you guys who agree with the owners or with the players not being able to stand, not being able to sit. I'm telling you, what you're saying is actually un-American. And much respect to any vet out there. Much respect to all you guys' views. That's what makes America great. I respect you guys' view on this, even though that I don't agree with it. I agree. I think that based on our Constitution of America, United States of America, I'm sorry, based on our Constitution, based on the First Amendment, based on the fact that there is no workplace rule on them not having a rule that has to make them stand for the anthem. Just you have to be on the field. If it said you had to stand, I'm all for them all standing. But there's no rule like that. So based on that and their First Amendment rights, based on the fact that this is America, and if we're supposedly we're the best nation in the world, the beacon of freedom, and we're going to force people to stand, that's un-American, guys. And you guys got to at least understand that. I'm not saying you have to agree with me, but understand what I'm saying. Regardless, if I'm protesting because there's pink elephants on the moon, that's my right to do it. And I can use whatever, if I can use a platform and do it on the national anthem, that's my right. And then everybody else can yell at me and disagree. You can't hurt me, but you can yell at me, disagree, and voice your opinion, but you can't stop it. You can't physically stop it. Let me put it that way. You can boycott it.
And Cowboys and guys, I understand where some of you guys feel like maybe it's not the right time or place. In general, when it comes to protests, there's never a good time or a place. I'm going to start with that. But second from that, in general, protests tend to work better when you use it on the biggest platform. And for these players, they know the biggest platform is when they're on that television.
And also, remember, when you do
look, I'm one of those people that do feel like it is one of those things like time and place, that maybe if you do feel this strongly about this issue, the national anthem right before you're about to play your game is maybe not the time or place to do it. But again, I'm not the one doing it. It's not me, but they have the right or the freedom to protest.
I've heard multiple.
And again, until the NFL has a rule that comes out against it or does something against it, then it's their right to do so. Right. But the NFL is a private business, private organization, and they can have their players, I guess, be forced to stand for the anthem if it's in the rules. So, like I said, let's just either, fix the rules or deal with the fact that this is going to keep happening until that changes. So that's it.
I just want to say that it's American to not stand for the national anthem. I'm not saying it's American to not stand for it. The right to not stand for it is what's American.
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Please understand what I'm saying, Brent. Trust me, I understand where you guys are coming from, because I agree with most of you guys. But again, the Cowboys are broad saying protest in your community and not on the football field. Now, I could agree with you on that. But in the end, it's still their right to do it on the football field if they want to. Like you said, the biggest platform. You don't get seen as much when you do it in the community. And guess what? A lot of these guys do not protest, but they contribute a lot to their community, guys. It's kind of an NFL rule that they all have to kind of do a certain amount of community service in their towns, whether it's their hometowns or the town that they're playing in. This is done by all the players. You don't hear about it that much. You hear about it once in a while, NFL Man of the Year, this and that. But you don't.
Let me say one thing too. Would any single one of us still be talking about Colin Kaepernick if it wasn't for this? And be honest. I mean,
Kaepernick would probably have a job though.
He might have a job, but he would have faded into obscurity.
I think what people have a problem with is the public awareness of this subject. Is it requiring this much attention? Before we answer it, it's not up to me to answer that, or you guys. I agree. Why has it gotten this much attention? Because the media has put it on the news, and everybody has taken it and run with it, including our president. And everybody's into blame on this.
I think
he's helped make it worse.
I think the fact that our president did make such direct comments kind of was the match, like the lit match on fire into the dry kindling, because I feel like that kind of really turned it into, again, it just brought it to a different kind of platform. It wasn't just like
it officially crossed the line.
It crossed major political lines.
Like directly, yeah, exactly.
Guys, come on, heads.
Yeah, no, listen, it's all good, guys. Listen, hey, listen, we know, listen, this is a heated conversation. ICE, H2O, even though I agree with your viewpoint, be cool about it too. Listen, we all can speak our mind without being offensive. And again, I think that we're doing a good job now. You guys might be screaming at your screen right now, hating me and you, both of us here, because of our comments. But I'm really trying to be as non-biased as I am with my Cowboys. But our Cowboys, we try to be as non-biased as possible, and we try to be as non-biased with this. No matter what our political leanings are or whatever we think, the fact that this is a major issue, it already has shown that whatever he has done, Kaepernick, whatever it started with, it blew up to a point where now it became a bigger issue than it really is. And I think that's why a lot of people on this chat, a lot of people in this country have a problem with it, but that's whose fault is that?
Exactly. And Mr. Wright, I actually have a little bit of a conspiracy theory. My joke was that during this meeting where the players and the owners kind of agreed, because I kind of joked around, I said, well, they should just stay in the hallway, and you reminded me that part of the agreement with the Department of Defense was that they had to be out on the field during the anthem. So I said, so if they're not out there, they're probably going to lose money, and who's going to lose the most money? It's going to be the players. So the players have a vested interest as well in keeping the Department of Defense happy and continuing to supply them with that money that they were getting since 2009. That was helping off their, pad their nice fluffy paychecks.
I do have a question. I see ICE H2O is bringing up a lot of political stuff. I do want to say something though. But if someone says, like he says, F Trump, does that mean he's not American? He's still American because you're allowed to voice your opinion. And I know it's in a platform where you have, 20 people. So it's not a big deal. But I'm just saying that we are allowed to criticize the country and still be American. Yeah. Just keep that in mind, guys. That goes for everybody on this stream, in this country. That's what makes America the greatest country in the world. Because if you go to North Korea and you don't stand, you're dead. All right. You go to Cuba. All right. My family, I have some family from Cuba. And if when you're Castro, you don't stand, the next day you disappear. You're not there anymore. If you don't salute Castro, you're gone, buddy. And so my point is that this country, you don't salute the flag, so people get mad at you, and that's really and boycott, and that's the way to do it. If you are upset, if you're that passionate about standing for the flag, again, guys, you all should be standing for the flag. Every single one of you that are saying this, you should always stand for the flag if you're at home and the anthem is on. And I guarantee you, I'm sure some of you do, but I'm sure some of you don't.
And Cowboys Abroad, I really get it, because a lot of us do use football as our escape or as one of our joys.
I get that too.
One of our entertainment factors, but we have to remember that these players they're providing us with entertainment, but they're humans as well,
and they have individual viewpoints.
And
but I do have a question to that. What if after the let me just say this. Okay, let's say you see 10 guys kneeling during the anthem. The TV shows them or doesn't show them, and either way, let's say you didn't show them, and you know that they knelt because you were there, or because you read somewhere that they owned that 10 guys knelt, whatever they did. How does that affect your personal life? Like, how does that affect you personally, Cowboys? And I love you, man, because you are one of the best contributors to this channel. But I do want to, and this is not an argument. This is I really want to hear what you think. How does that affect your life personally if somebody does not stand for the flag for whatever reasons they want? Like I said, pink elephants on the moon, world is flat, whatever the reason is. All right, they don't believe in evolution, okay, which is silly. But if they want to sit for that, that's their right. All right, so they can sit like Tebow could kneel and pray and cross himself 10 times over. In the end, again. That's his right. He can do that. Why is that offensive to anybody? And that's my thing.
Right. And again, you don't have to like it. I personally didn't like it. I just wanted to see him play football. If he felt that strongly about his God, I really wanted him to do that in his church, not on the football field. But
players are allowed to do that.
That's his right to do it. So, and
that's true, Cowboys. Bert Cap opted out. That's
Cowboys 42 again. I kind of commented on earlier on how Jerry Jones' comments could kind of help Colin Kaepernick, and I don't really remember what happened with the Chiefs owner, what kind of comments he made. So if you do know what kind of comments he made, let me know in the chat. Because
I want to say one thing here. I see Ice H2. I like you, brother, and I like what you're saying because again, I don't like the general name calling of Fox News watchers and Trumpers and all that stuff. But here,
never generalize anyone. Remember that a lot of us are really in this middle and just trying to figure it out.
We're just trying to get through it, guys. But here's the thing. I understand where both sides are coming from because I have friends on both sides. I have my own leanings one way or the other. I really try to be in the middle. I really do, guys. That's the way I kind of stand on this. I don't try to be Republican or Democrat or liberal or conservative.
And Mr. Wright?
Try to go with what's right. But I see what go ahead.
No, Mr. Wright, I agree 100%. And that goes for now as well. At the end of the day, President Trump is our president. And if he gives an order, our government is bound to follow, but
we are allowed to speak out against it if we don't like it, like ICE is saying. Now, ICE says about the Fox News watchers. You know what's funny? I don't like Fox News, but I do watch them at times. I like to see because a lot of people do watch it, and it's good to know what everybody thinks. And when it really inflames me, it upsets me sometimes when I hear the stuff that comes out on Fox News. I do not agree with 95% of it. But I'll say one thing. Today they had Jason Sehorn. He's a football player, guys. If you know who he is, you might even know who he is. I think he married somebody, some famous model or actress. Jason Sehorn was a safety for the New York Giants some years ago in the 2000s, and he was a pretty good safety. Now, white guy, you know what I'm saying? They made a point of that on Fox and Friends. It was this morning. You can probably search it. It was an interesting quick little interview with him, and he has a show coming up over the weekend. I think some new show he's going to be on. But because it's a very conservative channel, really Trumpy channel, if you know what I mean. No offense to Trumpers out there, but I will say this is that it was interesting to hear him talk about these guys who are all very conservative were asking him like, how would you feel if someone was kneeling? That would hurt your feelings. And he said, well, I would never kneel. He said, I would never kneel. I would never do that. And I think maybe even with the way the process that they're doing this is incorrect. But he says, they're my brothers. These are my brothers. In the end, and he goes, would you talk about this with them? He goes, yes, I would have a discussion with them. It's not a confrontational discussion. He would discuss why.
An open discussion, right. Like generally trying to understand.
And he said, I would want to understand. And even if I disagreed with the reasoning, it's still his reasoning. And in his mind, he is right. And in my mind, he is wrong. But that's my belief, and that's his belief. And in the end, we're still friends. In the end, we still are brothers on the field, and we still back each other on the field to the end. Doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter if you stand or sit for the anthem or for the flag, guys. And that's what my point is. It was my point about that. I agree, but my point more so bigger was because of the Fox News thing. Because even though it's Fox News, I still like the fact that they at least gave that outlook on it, where they gave a real. They didn't censor, because Fox likes to censor it only really one direction, like the other channels do it the liberal way. Yeah. But I will say that they actually, at least they gave Jason Sehorn a chance to speak on this in an honest way without restricting him by having to stick with the usual. I would have a major problem. I would want to be traded off the team and some ignorant comment like that, when in reality, the reality of the situation is all these players, no one's going to leave any team because someone sat. As far as the players on the field, they're going to fight for their brother. Even if they are 100% against them, they still would fight for them like they were their brother on that football field. And that's what football's about, guys. That's the true unity of it.
And I would really like to hope that Jerry Jones would never sit a player for protesting, for example, David Irving, who could possibly, who says he's going to protest this Sunday.
And that's really
interesting,
guys.
That Jerry Jones doesn't do something retaliatory like that he does I guess
if Jerry Jones does
things from the player's perspective and others' perspective.
Listen, I think Jerry Jones knows.
Them in a more genuine
Jerry
way.
Jones knows he can't do a thing about it. The owners just spoke about this week. He just ran out the back door the last couple of days. He's trying to save face. It's going to be tough for him to have to eat his words, because if he does sue him, it's going to be a major disruption for the Cowboys team. It's going to be a major disruption for his legacy, because he's going to be losing. He's going to get sued. He's going to lose. No matter how good he's been to the players in the good, he's been to the players in the past, and he has been great to most of the star players.
Yeah.
David Irving will sue his ass. He'll do that. And again, it seems like he's getting pushed to it by Jerry Jones. And I think as of right now, Irving has the right. Jerry Jones would be wrong. If it said in the book that he has to stand, then Jones would have the right. So
exactly.
And thank you so much, Mr. Wright.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. I know you're not saying it to flatter us, but we just try to really put our non-biased opinions out there as real as possible.
I guess you can't really have a non-biased opinion, but we're trying to give you guys the facts and then our opinion separate from that, so you can kind of see where we're coming from. But that still doesn't,
And we still say from both sides.
Still the facts.
We still throw it out there both sides. I mean, I might be liberal, I might be conservative, but I'm gonna try to speak about it through a liberal mind, through a conservative mind, both ways on this stream. When it's something like this that's controversial.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm going to give my answer what I think is the right thing, not necessarily what I believe in. And I know you do the same thing too.
Guys,
so
to every single one of you guys who has served, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, we are indebted to you.
We have a lot of friends who have served. We know the kind of personal sacrifice it takes. What
insane,
you guys have done.
You guys are awesome.
Continue to do.
Thank
you guys. And like you said, when you hand that folded flag to the fallen kin of someone you know, someone you worked with, someone you had those kinds of moments with, that you go through something like that, that's a whole different kind of perspective, a whole different kind of sacrifice on a different level. That is what our flag stands for. That our flag stands
for. Our flag stands for a lot of things.
Exactly.
A lot of things. A lot of different things. And that's why it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons, and some overlap. Some of the American flag, which is good that the players stand for or sit for, they still respect what this country is about.
Exactly.
But then they don't respect the way that maybe. Again, guys, I'm just putting things in their mind. But like
the players have made statements before saying that this has nothing to do with not respecting
They've
America.
all said that.
They all
Correct.
love America. They're very passionate.
It's about making a point on a platform where people will see it based on something they believe is a major problem. Which if you look at the stats, it's not a major problem. When you look at the responsibility of the police to not make those kind of mistakes, it's always a problem, even if it's a minor one. It's always a problem. So maybe it's not as big as it's coming out to be because of all the attention it's gotten over Kaepernick and on, to this year and on. But again, guys, currently it is their right. Until it's changed, it will continue to be an issue, but not to me. It's not an issue to me personally. I will watch the games. And again, like Shao Hao said, the best thing is just don't show it. Just don't show it on TV. Who cares? I mean, I hear the anthem enough in my life, in Super Bowls, in the championships, in playoffs, and basketball games. When we go see games, when we go places. I mean, my child hears the Pledge of Allegiance every day at school, and I don't get very worried in that. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, it's something where we all have to kind of come together and understand that everybody has the right to do, as long as you're not up there spitting on the flag or doing something purposely to cross a line. Now you are inciting a riot, and that's now you're breaking the law. But because someone sits peacefully, isn't that better than I guess blocking a road,
or stomping,
or blocking a road, or destroying stuff, or whatever it is. I'm not saying that would be the other option for them, but I'm just saying that is another that's another kind of protest, which is detrimental. And so what is a good type of protest that appeases every American? There is none.
There's no good type of protest, because a protest in and of itself is meant to disrupt normal life to bring attention to this thing. So what they're doing is disrupting our normal football life to bring attention to this thing. Obviously, it's been more than beyond successful. I don't think even Colin Kaepernick could have ever seen it getting to this level. I mean, I don't really know what else to say, guys.
I'm going to say one last. We're going to wrap this part up thing. Yeah, but guys, you can continue your conversation. I really love the back and forth, and later on, I will definitely look through this because it is some good stuff you guys are throwing out there. Just keep it as family friendly as possible, as respectful as possible.
Yeah,
so far, you guys are doing pretty good.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, what's up? How you doing?
The best thing I can say, as far as like labels, real quick, is just forget about being a liberal or conservative. Look at the facts, guys. Yeah. That's the best thing I can tell you. Look at the actual facts. Don't and get your facts from multiple sources.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the best thing I can say.
Definitely, I would agree with that. I mean, if you watch media like TV, watch Fox News, even if you disagree with them. Watch CNN, even if you disagree with them. And watch MSNBC if you disagree with them.
ABC and everything.
All your local channels when it comes to the world news. Guys, just watch it, because then you can really kind of make a better judgment. Don't just look at, BuzzFeed. Don't just look at Breitbart. Okay, because then you're limiting yourselves to the ultra-liberal, ultra-conservative brainwashing. And trust me, both are bad. And again, like Mr. Wright says, he says, used to be liberal, can't do it anymore. I understand, because I would say I'm more on a liberal on social issues. But again, when you have safe spaces and you have certain too touchy-feely things, and she would know, my fiance would know more about that for her generation, I guess.
The extreme coddling.
Correct. That's what turns us away from the liberalism. Yes, that's what turns us away. I'm from the older school, but I'm still liberal-ish, but I'm still, some of my views are conservative, and some of them are liberal. So, again, we all have a little bit of each in us. No matter how hard a liberal tries to push the conservative out of them, or the conservative tries to push the liberalness out of them, trust me, guys, you got both.
But Cowboys Abroad, as far as the specific team rules, he can change the rules, but if there's a league rule that kind of trumps it, right?
It's kind of like this, guys. It's kind of like a state law, but a state law is trumped by a federal law.
Exactly.
The federal law is the NFL rule, and a team rule would be a state law. Jerry Jones can do whatever he wants, but then he will be sued, because in the end, any judge and jury will find that by going by the rule book, like the CBA and against Zeke, and the way they're doing that against Zeke. You can say this again, same thing against Jerry Jones. Yeah, Jerry Jones says you can't, you have to, everybody has to stand for me, or you get benched, or you get traded, or whatever. And he does that. The NFL says you as a player, any team, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter any rule you make for your team, you cannot overextend that to bypass the NFL rule. So
and
sorry.
50K, I hope you're joking, because
Alex Jones is cuckoo, man. I gotta say, he's a nutty.
The smoker's voice.
He does not believe in the Connecticut kids that got killed. He thinks that was a made up thing. He does 9/11 is it's just, come on, guys. Let's get off those conspiracy things. That's crazy.
You know what, guys? I think that's enough politics for now.
There's a lot of politics in this channel right now.
But look, guys, and unfortunately, I want to say I hate this just because, again, this was brought to a different level for a multitude of reasons, but obviously it's been building for a while, guys. This Colin Kaepernick stuff started in early 2016, before the season even started.
Preseason,
Preseason. So, guys, this wasn't just like we fell asleep when we woke up. This has been building for a while. It was fueled by the election and other events going on, and it just all of this has kind of come to a head to now.
Yeah, I'm just going to say one last thing with Cowboys Abroad. I know he's saying the lawsuit won't hold up, but we'll see. I will see, because that's what's going to happen eventually. Cowboys Abroad. Unfortunately for Jerry Jones, I think he will lose.
See more controversy.
Right, but Jerry Jones got to know that he knows. He knows. He'll fight it, and maybe he will have to fight it.
Lawyers tell him, you don't have a shot.
Well, there's a reason why he went out the back door the last 2 days. There's a reason why he went out the back door the last 2 days, guys. Cowboys Abroad specifically. I'm going to move on from this in a minute. I just want to finish by saying, we won't know until it actually happens. David Irvin's going to probably do something, guys, so keep your eyes peeled on that, number 95. Yeah, we're just reporting the news. Yeah. And so definitely we're going to see him do something. He says maybe he won't do anything. Either way, if and when somebody does, because eventually somebody will sit or put a fist up or do something that's going to be disrespectful to Jerry Jones's opinion. Yeah. Not to his right, but to his opinion. And then he'll have to make a decision on what he's going to do next. Will he suspend him? Will he sit him? If he does, then the next step of the legal battle will continue when it comes to now a player versus Jerry Jones, which, guys, I'm telling you right now, the only person that's going to hurt, the only thing that's going to hurt is the Dallas Cowboys. It's not going to hurt America. It's not going to hurt you or me. As far as the exact, if somebody sitting or not sitting for the standing or sitting for the anthem, in the end, it's going to hurt the Dallas Cowboys, especially with Jerry Jones in the middle of this. So let's hope it doesn't get to that point. Let's just hope that whatever David Irving does, Jerry Jones accepts and goes within the rules of the league. And then hopefully in a couple of weeks it gets changed, and everybody either is on the field or not on the field, and there's nobody worried about disrespect, and nobody is disrespected in any way possible, because we all need our safe spaces and snowflakes, even liberals, even conservatives, even Trumpers. Yes, everybody needs their little safe space, and everyone can be a snowflake at times, guys, even the most staunch conservative. Let's move on from this, as Mr. Wright said. So let's move on, guys.
But no, guys, outside of that, too, I think the most concerning part about this whole, what will Jerry Jones do if someone does protest thing is more like it kind of speaks to the whole dynamic of the Cowboys team, where Jerry Jones is basically the real overlord leader, and it would be nice to see Jason Garrett kind of.
Well, we all have opinions on that.
I know, but Jason Garrett.
Like I said, we're going to drop it. We're done with it for now.
So,
I do want to talk about the Zeke thing, guys. So there is some Zeke updates. You basically broke the Zeke news again this afternoon. Speak more on that since we're all ready to move on from this Trump thing.
Yeah, guys.
And from this Trump flag, Jerry Jones, David Irving, kneeling, standing, Kaepernick. I don't care. We're done with it, guys. Go back and watch it if you want to see any more on that.
So
Cooper Rush will be an inactive. I just want to throw that out there. Go ahead, speak on. I just want Cooper Rush is one of our inactives. Just letting you know.
No, guys. So, first of all, the NFL filed a motion in the court asking for an expedited hearing on the preliminary injunction. Then the NFLPA responded to that motion saying that there's no need for one because Judge Files will rule by October 30th at the latest. Now, that October 30th date, why is that so important? Remember, Judge Crotty, there we go. Judge Crotty granted Ezekiel Elliott that temporary restraining order up until October 30th. Judge Files returns from vacation this coming Monday and is supposed to make some kind of a ruling within that time frame that week. Now, October 30th, guys, if there's no decision made until then, that means that Zeke is eligible to play against the Redskins, which is why the NFL wants Files to rule during this upcoming week. By
the quicker, the better for the NFL. The better
so that they can suspend him quicker and he doesn't play
assuming he doesn't get, they don't hold it up, because if she does hold up the temporary restraining order, she gets an injunction, then the NFL just wants the process faster, hopefully for that reason, like you said, that they would deny the temporary restraining order or any kind of injunction. But again, the NFL just wants to do it because then let's say they rule in Zeke's favor, it's just another 5 or 6 days that they can, this whole thing will be over, sooner. And the next step, because there's still a whole bunch of processes after this, NFL will then file an appeal, and it's going to go to the next step if Zeke wins this next level.
Which we kind of broke that all down in our other Zeke stream, so if you want to go ahead and check that out, make sure to do that.
Yeah, Brian, I think they're trying to save face mainly. Right now, it's about saving face. And I want to make a touch on something that was a big thing that you discussed yesterday. A lot of people were discussing the last couple of days, was about the whole settlement thing, guys. Listen, Zeke didn't even know about this supposed settlement was going on, and the NFL was Joe Lockhart, who you guys should know him. He was ruling on a couple things earlier on the Zeke stuff.
Yeah, he made a statement.
Yeah, he made a statement on the NFL saying that we're not looking to make a deal. We're very confident our arguments will prevail. So
they're confident that they're going to win.
So both sides are saying that. Zeke is saying there's no way he's fighting this to the end, which he should, and the NFL is saying that no way, we're gonna fight this to the end as well. Nobody's making any kind of deals, nothing like that out there. So, but the prediction is probably NFLPA or the NFL, someone in there, not Zeke and maybe not Joe Lockhart, but somebody from the NFL or someone from the NFLPA released this fake news, so to speak, about just to test the waters out there, see how everyone's reactions would be to this. Ooh, maybe there's a settlement, maybe something can be worked out. I don't think Roger Goodell wants to go through the possibility. If this gets to that point, it's still a long way to go, but if it gets to that point, he would be put on the stand. Tiffany Thompson, the accuser of Ezekiel Elliott, would be put on the stand. And that would make the NFL look really bad, and that would give Zeke a good chance. A chance to win and succeed and get his 6 games taken away completely. So you got to look at that too, guys. Zeke's fighting for his name, but also try to win this. At the same time, guys, it's very hard for him to win this. So, right now I'm looking at the schedule. The 23rd, which, the 23rd is Monday, is the motion to confirm. Not really sure what that's supposed to mean. That's the NFL schedule. This is what they want. They want the 23rd is the NFL motion to confirm that this is going to be heard sooner than later.
It's like they're asking Judge Files to rule right away on Monday when she comes back, which I feel is a little unreasonable.
And then they're saying that on the 27th, so later on in the week, towards the end of the week, the NFLPA will then give a response to, meaning that they'll probably file some kind of appeal or whatever the next step is for Zeke to go to the Supreme Court, let's say. And then they're hoping that by an emergency hearing or something like that, and by the 30th, which would be ready, Zeke would have missed the Redskin game, the hearing to motion to confirm whichever of the two routes, I guess you can say on this. But the NFL is pushing this to get done as soon as possible, guys. I mean, completely wrapped up by the 30th, which is when the TRO is supposed to be expired.
Yeah, so they're basically asking the judge to rule on the 23rd on, whether to grant the preliminary injunction or not, to not grant it, and then for Zeke's team to appeal, for them to deny that appeal, and for them to be done with the case by the 30th, basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's
and the NFLPA, which I know you mentioned this, they filed a letter today after the NFL is trying to expedite this. They filed a letter, said, they said, they're urging the judge to not speed this up. okay, to the Ezekiel Elliott any further, because it would only hurt Zeke more in the way it would look, and the fact that this is trying to get swept under the rug. It would kind of like continue to lead into the whole conspiracy theory that the NFL is trying to exactly. So they're trying to kind of play the opposite role on that when it comes to
reverse psychology in a way.
Reverse psychology, exactly. She's trying to say, hey, you know what? Look, if you do this, it's gonna make Zeke look. It's gonna make the NFL look worse. So you don't want to rush something like this, So it's interesting the way it's done. This is just the courts, guys. I hate this court stuff.
I know there's a lot of people, a lot of rumors, and you would know more than I would, baby, that the New York courts are very biased for the NFL, that they favor the NFL.
Well, this judge
always kind of sides with the NFL.
Judge whatever her name is, she rules with the NFL almost every time. This other Judge Crotty, he actually is a little more lenient with the NFL players, and he's actually ruled in their favor a couple of times, and this is one of those times. So again, like you had said the other day, we broke it down for you guys. Actually, my fiance broke it down here for you guys perfectly. But just to rehash it real quick, and we're going to kind of move on from that and take more questions and kind of wrap it up as we kind of come up to this hour.
Here for
close to an hour. But guys, the thing is that remember that Zeke wants to clear his name. He's going to go through every possible way to kind of get through this and not lose any games. But again, guys, if this is about Zeke's name and his brand, and again, I forgot you were going to say something about. Forget it. I thought you were going to say.
So many things.
Sorry, guys. I got a little caught up there. I'm looking over here. NFL bribed Zeke with pizza. He say call Zeke fat.
I know.
OMFG Google says that Zeke is fat. No, Ray Caruth never got suspended. He got arrested.
And guys, I'm never gonna.
He's just getting out of jail now.
No, if I'm Zeke, I'm fighting this till the end. I'm going down.
Free Zeke,
screaming. I don't know what to say.
Free Zeke. That's right. Dayan Mahagandas. I can't say your name.
Who could ultimately overturn Zeke's suspension?
I think it's Roger Goodell and Tiffany Thompson on the witness stand, being cross-examined by everyone, but also the judge hearing this on the stand, and why Goodell didn't get this information.
And again,
why Tiffany Thompson never was allowed to be cross-examined by Zeke's legal team.
If the preliminary injunction is granted, guys, I would say it's pretty much a guarantee that this happens at some point in the process as they continue. If they grant the preliminary injunction and they continue,
and it stays,
and it stays
because the NFL's going to appeal, and they're going to go through a process.
Okay, if they grant the preliminary injunction and it stays, and they continue to go through the court investigative process, I think that it's extremely likely that they are going to eventually end up on the stand, and one, we'll obviously bring you guys breaking news on that if and when that happens. But two, I will personally be very interested to hear what their actual responses are, because there's just been so much mystery and grayness surrounding all of what happened. And at the end of the day, we're going to get real evidence that we can use to, at least very clearly understand exactly what happened here. So either way, because there's still still a handful of you guys I know who say that, you still think that Zeke did something, and I'm
still waiting for the evidence, guys.
Exactly.
I will say we have,
but again, I just want to see
we have one guy.
Tiffany Thompson was able to take this thing this far. I'm still astounded.
Well, because of the rules of the CBA and allowing Roger Goodell to do this.
But
that's the reason why.
So many people on her side, so many.
No.
Like someone really. Yeah.
Oh,
Goodell had to do. I mean.
It wasn't about Tiffany Thompson.
Exactly.
It's about the NFL trying to be tough on domestic violence when there isn't a situation in this situation of domestic violence. Now, there's a guy, a troller that's on here. Troll. That John Smith. Obviously, John Smith. Very, very uncommon name. Anyways, he posted a bunch of times saying that we're fools for thinking that Zeke is innocent. He's basically what his claim, and I know a lot of NFL. I'm just using him as an example, but a lot of people like him in the NFL that just want to see the worst of Zeke or the worst of any Cowboy, or just the worst,
just hate the Cowboys.
or just maybe they're just really have a hard stand against domestic violence. Even an accusation means you're guilty. The point is that what this guy was saying is like how you guys support this woman beater. Already, this guy is one of the few 10% that's never going to change his mind about Zeke, no matter what happens. Even if he wins it, even if he clears his name, he will always say Zeke is a woman beater. And his reasoning, his said to me that he should be suspended 6 games because he's a woman beater because of the St. Patrick's Day video. He goes, you didn't see the video? It was all right there. There's the proof. Look what he did. That's proof that he beat the other woman. That's proof that he should be suspended 6 games. I'm telling him that's proof that he's an idiot. This is proof that John Smith, not Zeke, John Smith is an idiot because he doesn't know the difference between domestic violence and what would be like a sexual, I guess, assault, you would say, if you wanted to call it that.
Yeah.
But if you watch the full video, which he says he's a lawyer, he's not a lawyer. But if you watch the full video, you will see that the woman was taking her shirt down before her. Then he was playfully doing this, which is still wrong, and he should get 2 games at most for that. If you want to suspend him for something, then 2 games for that. But the NFL said no, it wasn't for that. So he did that playfully. She knocked his hand away first, like, what are you doing? Yeah, and then kind of laughed it off. Hold on, and then. As it continued the video, she does it again. Playfully, it was his friend. They are friends. Look, guys, I'm not one to judge or be moral about whatever they do, but the point is that she didn't press charges. She was cool with it. They were joking around, and in the end, it is not sexual assault what happened because she would not felt that she was sexually assaulted, no matter what I think or what John Smith, with his eyes or what we all see with our eyes, what we think. That's not what she thought, and that's what matters in this case. Is she did not think that. Now, what Tiffany Thompson thinks or says is a beating by Zeke when everybody saw her without bruises all the way up until the day before she went to the cops, which, by the way, was the night before was when she got her butt kicked on the street, slammed against the sidewalk with another woman that she attacked at Zeke's party.
Yeah.
The evidence is obvious, guys. There's millions of witnesses. But there's a bunch of witnesses under oath that sided with Zeke that are not friends of Zeke, that some are friends of hers. So if anybody can say and label Zeke a woman beater, and you guys are kind of being ignorant to the facts about what's out there. Not what you think or your emotion. That's what the NFL ruled on this, with their emotion, and to railroad someone in the name of domestic violence to help the NFL's image. This is for the NFL. This is about their image. This is not about domestic violence. Yeah. This only hurts real domestic violence victims, and this only hurts people like that have been falsely accused for domestic violence, like Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, and for all you guys talking about the draft, obviously being in Dallas this year, I will say the NFL is definitely very brave to be heading to Dallas this year. I don't know if I would risk Goodell's life and safety in Dallas this year after this whole Zeke drama. Well, no. But after this whole Zeke drama specifically is what I'm saying.
I agree. They're definitely trying to.
I don't know. He's gonna.
They're tickling our. You know what? They're tickling us right now. Trying to get us started, guys.
Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to hit like on the stream. It does really help out our channel, and make sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes.
We do post daily content on the Cowboys, and we film our reaction to every single Cowboys game,
so including Sunday, guys. We're gonna be on here Sunday. We get the Niners. We need to win this game. It's a must-win. Tomorrow, my usual Saturday night. Tomorrow's going to be a Saturday afternoon, so get ready for that. If you miss it in the afternoon, and I say afternoon, I mean late afternoon, like 5 or 6. But if I'm going to do my my 1 hour Cowboys Niners breakdown stream through Madden, so we can see all the players on both sides. I'm going to talk about what I hope the Cowboys do on offense, the way I hope we play on defense. We're going to have Hitchens and Lee in there. I'm going to have fun finally playing both these guys in the starting lineup and able to use them and see how our defense improves. I know it's just Madden, but I'm sure it's going to improve a lot based on the last couple of weeks, the way our defense played. Of course, I'm on the easy mode, so it's a little different, but I'm sure our defense will look a lot better tomorrow than it did the last couple of weeks, even through Madden.
I agree. So, and guys, thank you so much for watching here tonight. Let us know any kind of last-minute comments you have. We're kind of catching up with the chat. And again, it's been kind of a slow Cowboys news week, even though we are coming into this bye.
2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks.
A little bit more out of like these practices, but the great news, the most important news, is obviously that Sean Lee and Hitchens and all these other guys.
Talon Smith, Chaz Green, Lel Collins, they're all active.
Yeah,
they're all playing.
Our biggest pain right now is obviously
Awuzie.
Hopefully
he's out
to recover and he can come back.
Hopefully next week he'll be there. He'll be there against the Redskins in a very important game.
Healthy.
And stay healthy. And the other guys too, guys. We cannot afford any more injuries. Like people say about about Lee getting injured. We cannot afford any injuries and setbacks from him or Hitchens. That's where our key of our defense. We can see. I think tomorrow, if we had 7 guys, I guess I'll throw this out there. Not tomorrow, but Sunday's game. 7 inactives. I'm gonna try to call them here, just really quick, just guessing. Awuzie, depending Durant or Wilbur. And I don't think we'll even bench Wilbur, honestly, inactivate Wilbur because we need him on special teams. But let's just say, let me go with the for sures. Awuzie, Cooper Rush, DMC, Darren McFadden. That's 3 right there for sure, guys. They're inactive.
Yeah.
Then we got to look at maybe an offensive lineman. So if Chaz Green is healthy, they'll inactivate. They'll make Byron Bell inactive. That'll be 4. You never know with Noah Brown. We seem to use him a lot. He could be an inactive.
I feel like this is a type of game where he would be active in, though.
Okay, so let's keep it.
Game that we might get a little more used to.
We got to look at defense. I think Taco is a guy who's inactive. I think that's 5 inactives right there. We still have I guess it's 5 with Noah Brown, so it's 4 without. I'm trying to think. So we have Cooper Rush, McFadden, a lineman, of course Awuzie, and let's just say Durant. That's 5 guys right there. We have 2 left. And we got to look at maybe another. I'm trying to think where would we lose somebody.
I guess maybe we would need at least one receiver to be inactive. Right?
Well, then it would have to be Noah. It would have to be Noah Brown. So that's 6, and then you have one more guy. That you have to take out of there. You might have to look at I don't see a tight end being inactive. I mean, it's hard to say who else would you make inactive on defensive front. I mean, is there anybody? Brian Price, would you make him inactive? There's really nobody after him.
But again, the problem is then we kind of lose.
Ben Wickery.
Someone. But again, we take that same chance.
I know. We have a linebacker, that guy, the hyphenated guy, Lillard. He'll be inactive for the game. So, I mean, that would be our 7, I guess. Noah Brown being the 7th. I guess that borderline guy. Durant, depending on what's up with him, if he's able to play. Yeah. The fact that he's questionable is like foreshadowing he'll probably be inactive, which is not good. But that means Jalen Smith will take his reps. So instead of 15 reps for Jalen Smith, he'll probably have 20. Something like that.
So, and thank you so much, Barbara, guys, for every single one of you guys who is out here watching our stream, sharing our stream with other football fans.
What's up, Barbara? Thank you for your help, by the way. Yes.
All these things, guys. Thank you so much. And if you do feel so inclined, we do have our Patreon link in the description down below. Anything you guys do does help out our channel, helps us, get better equipment and do other things.
We'll definitely get. I've seen other channels saying that they that they actually when they take donations and things, they actually use that money for road trips for games. I never really thought about doing that, and I mean, if you guys want us to do that, we would definitely love to do that. I don't want to do that.
We are considering going to the Pro Bowl, and obviously,
well, that's for sure. Yeah.
So anything that you guys. Feel free. And again, just by being in here, watching the ads, supporting, sharing, liking, all those things, guys, you do help our channel.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for being part of our
Mr. Wright, I love it. I love Jordan Lewis. To me, he's our Rookie of the Year now for this season.
What Super Bowl was it that we were watching right before?
Oh, yeah, guys, I just had to say, if you can see right here, I have...
Just because I remember it was 27 who made a good play, and I made a joke. I'm like, oh, ha-ha, Jordan Lewis.
That was Thomas Everett back in the old days, guys, but we have the Cowboys' 10 best games. I don't know if you can see that, but...
I don't know.
It's not really focusing. Anyways, guys.
Yeah, so we were watching that before we...
I was just schooling on the old school Cowboys just a little bit. The first Super Bowl against the Bills, the way that started off. Guys, I forgot a little bit of it, the way that we fell behind. We looked so bad, and then we exploded on them, guys. In the second quarter, we just... we didn't really get to the second quarter yet, but I remember it. And, it was just a great highlights.
Right after the injury to
Jim Kelly, yeah. But, guys, we were just watching a little bit. On her birthday, that's a true fan, guys. Talk about that. On our birthday weekend, let me put it that way. And in case anybody did forget, guys, there he goes. Happy birthday.
You. Yay.
I'm leaving it on.
Feel the gray hairs.
I'm leaving it on. Please. Look at my gray hairs.
Hey, you know what? We're Cowboys fans. Yeah, I can feel the gray hair.
Yeah.
So, guys,
based on that, yes. Any other last comments here, guys? I love the fact that we can talk things out. I know Ice and Brent and Mr. Wright and Cowboys Abroad. We all have our little mix and matches here. But, guys, we're still Cowboys Nation. And even if we're not Cowboys, we're still NFL Nation. We're still humans, guys. And it's good to be able to remember to talk things out, even if you disagree vehemently against somebody else's viewpoints, guys. There's a lot of things I don't like about a lot of things that are said out there every day, whether it's the president or some liberal person or some conservative person. I don't care. My point is that there's always something out there. But the important thing is to be able to understand each other and talk it out. Talk through it. Even if we don't agree in the end, at least we can still respect the other person's ability to speak their mind. Which is what America is all about, guys. So thank you for all that, for all your back and forth. It shows us that this is why this is America.
Yes.
All right, we can do this. We can do this.
Just a tiny bit, a little bit of kindness in this world that seems to have so many other things that are just not that.
Yeah, and someone else said earlier, "What fans are we of basketball?" You're not really a basketball fan. I've loved the Chicago Bulls because the only team I ever knew when it came to Central Florida was the Orlando Magic, and I hated their pinstripes. I hated but that's when I started knowing what basketball was. Yeah. Like I didn't really watch it, and I just said, "Who do I know?" I know Magic Johnson, Magic Johnson. I know Larry Bird, and I know Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan is the coolest out of those three. That's what I said. I remember saying that to myself when I was like 12. So I'm like, I'm a Bull. I don't know what team he plays for, but I like whoever he's on. And the Bulls hadn't won a championship as of this point. They were getting ripped up by the Detroit Pistons year after year with the bad boys, Dennis Rodman, Lambeer, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, the whole crew, guys. Yeah. You don't know what I'm talking about, but anybody out there knows basketball, anything about basketball. You guys remember the 90s. It was the best to watch basketball. But I started watching in the late 80s, and Jordan was the guy. And again, I think I remember the Elo shot where he made it at the buzzer. That's really put Jordan on the map. And before that was the Boston game, which I never was a basketball fan at that point, where he had like 60-something in Boston, which was like a record. I'm just going crazy right now, basketball stuff. I know I'm probably boring you guys, but I'm a Bulls fan. Again, like the Cowboys, I'm a Bulls fan. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. Win, lose, or tie, guys. And right now the Bulls are going to be losing a lot. One of our own players knocked out our best player. One of our best players right now. He's out in the hospital right now. Where the other guy's losing 8 games. It's just like a catastrophe. But guess what? I'm still saying go Chicago Bulls, baby. And I'm not from Chicago. Like I said, I'm a Jordan fan, but I'm going to stick with the team loyalty forever. The one that got me started in basketball, I'm sticking with them to the end. I'm not any other fan but a Chicago Bulls fan, and still am, even after the team has been dismantled. There you go, brothers and sisters. I'm just telling you, that's the truth, and that's the Cowboy thing too for me. When the Cowboys were 1-15, and before that 3-13, and before that 5-11, guess who was still a Cowboy fan back in the mid to late 80s? Me. That's who. So, guys, that's what it's about. That's what it is about. But yes, we'll talk basketball. And guys, I'm sure, even though this is a football Cowboys channel, I'm sure that when we go into the off season, I'll definitely
March Madness around the corner.
March Madness, March Madness. Well, not around the corner, but you got basketball. You got the basketball. And you have the NBA. March. True, but then you have the NBA All-Star game, which is always fun. The slam dunk. I'll probably do like a live stream for that because I love watching the 3-point shootouts and the slam dunks. We've actually watched that the last couple of years.
Who's that guy?
That's always fun.
Who's really good dunking?
There's a lot of them.
You know the one I'm talking about, though. Blake Griffin.
Yeah, but he's not really in a dunk contest that much anymore. Yeah, from the Clippers. But my point is that we'll definitely be touching on some basketball stuff. Really yeah, no, he was there that year. Yeah, he did do. And there's a couple other great years that you watched of some dunks and things. But again, guys, we'll be doing basketball stuff here and there. Dibs and dabs, but throughout the however you say that terminology, but throughout the off season, we're going to talk about a little bit of the All-Star game for the basketball. We're going to talk about the March Madness. We're going to talk about basketball, NBA playoffs, and of course, guys, we're going to always focus on the Dallas Cowboys and football and NFL football mainly. And we're going to do some draft research on the guys that fit the Cowboys scheme as far as where the Cowboys fall in the draft picks. And I want to, I'm not really a big college guy, so as we get closer to the end of the season and the postseason and the off season.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear from you guys who watch a lot more college football, and let us know what players you guys want to see the Cowboys get and what players
at the position that we're at. Not I don't want to say if we're at the 15th pick, I don't want to say we're going to get the number 1 pick. That's silly. But the players that we can get, the truly good players
who can we actually
give us 30 guys. Once we get our spot placed, we know our spot placement. Hopefully we're 32nd. But if we are wherever we're at, I don't know. Give me 30 names that we can get that spot. Yep. By the time we get to that, we're going to build a little bit of a daily, quick little mini live stream to review every of these players. Yeah, we're going to check them out and see what we like and not like about them. Yeah, exactly. So, it'll be cool. We have a lot of stuff planned for the off season, but guys, this is a daily Dallas Cowboy thing, and that's basketball and college basketball and hockey and baseball, whatever, guys. Yeah. It's all cool to talk about. I'm not a big baseball fan. I know I watch the World Series though, but not during football season. It's all about football for me. I know you're not really a big fan about anything but football, so it's basically a football family here, guys.
Mr. Wright, very funny. I didn't say that, but very funny.
I didn't mean it that way.
No.
Because I remember Rex Chapman, guys. You remember Rex Chapman? Oh, the white chocolate, or whatever they call them. He was a great dunker.
I'm pretty sure the one that I'm thinking of was on the Timberwolves.
Or maybe white chocolate was Barry. That's what it was. Brent Barry. God, if I show you, I'm gonna show you some videos of him dunking. This white guy who's like a bean pole. But anyway, he won a dunk contest because he did the free throw jump and stuff. I mean, it was just crazy, guys. I love watching those. And
like I said,
a lot of guys can dunk black, white, and Spanish. So, and Asian and Muslim and whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of people. And NBA is very diverse and international, guys. So we got people from 50 different countries.
If you're tall enough.
Well, basketball is an international sport like soccer or football. Yeah. Football's not, and American football's not there yet. But slowly but surely. People, we had the World League some years ago. We had a team here in Central Florida. I think the Orlando Thunder, and actually went to some of their games, guys. That was interesting. That was the World Football League. They would play in Germany, and they play here, and they play. Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, you can definitely tell the NFL is trying to expand just because they're going to Mexico, they're going to London. But anyway, guys, outside of all that, make sure to hit like if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss when we go live. And for every single one of you guys watching, thank you so much for joining us for the stream tonight. Make sure to catch us tomorrow with our Madden game, simulation.
Yeah, review of the game, basically, guys. It's going to be a review of the 49ers and the Cowboys. I'm going to do it through Madden with all the updated rosters the way it's supposed to be. And by the way, guys, a lead. I disagree with you. Byron Jones not a disappointment. Yeah. I'm just saying here, Durant did cost them on that 3rd and 8 against Aaron Rodgers. Watch that play again if you want. Yeah. I agree with you on that one, Ali.
Very painful.
Everybody else, Shallow How, Ice, H2O, I lead, Mr. Wright, Cowboys 42. Baby, go ahead and finish up the shout-outs for all the people that are on here.
Let me see. Ice H2O, lead Aubrey. Let me see. Mr. Wright, Shallow How. Cowboys 42. I'm going through the whole list. I got to start from the bottom too. Kevin, you said it. I didn't.
Kevin Bowers, what's up?
Let me see. Kevin, Brent 52K. Let me see. Shallow Hal. I don't know if I mentioned you already. OMFG Google, Barbara Long, Diane. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you all you guys for joining us.
Yeah, seriously, every single one of you guys who's out here watching, who takes the time to hang out with us. Thank you so much. We'll definitely bring you guys all the breaking news tomorrow.
Disagree, Ali, but we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And Byron Jones, I think he's actually held our defensive backfield together with all the inexperienced, the rookies, and people like Nolan Carroll back there, guys. I think Byron Jones has done a lot more than you give him credit for. I think you should put more blame on Mr. Jeff Heath. Let's focus on him and getting him out of there, all right?
That would be great. So, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. And as always,
happy birthday first.
Thank you.
And as always,
don't forget.
Go Cowboys! Now forever, win, lose, or draw, baby, forever.
Go Cowboys.
Go